then play
to your computer and then play it.
Yep, I agree.
That's awesome.
So, pretty cool little device. Hopefully we'll see some more of that technology coming, and maybe in the future we'll see it to where, I don't know, unlimited data storage is a pretty big deal right now, especially with something that, can't really fry. Unless, of course, their servers fry and everybody loses everything, but...
If the internet goes down again, one more Skype, and then we'll be fucked.
Right.
I really, really, really might buy one of those, because I have so much shit that I want to back up on my side that I want to go ahead and make sure that, because, like, okay, say, tonight something happens to my computer. All my show shit's kind of backed up, but not 100%. And so lost episodes and things like that, like everything's gonna be gone completely. So that's pretty cool. That's actually got me interested in it. There's no monthly fees. You just buy it, $90, and you're set. And you just upload everything to the cloud.
You're done.
I'm all for it. All for it. And like people like Carbonite.com are like charging for this shit. And it's $90 and you're done with it. That's pretty cool. I'm all for that. All for it. So we'll go ahead and get to an open topic here. Are you familiar with the FCC's new ruling on net neutrality and things like that? Right? You've heard anything about that?
Yeah, I need to look at the link real quick and see what part you're covering, but.
We're covering the whole thing. Whatever you want to talk about with it, this is basically an open topic, and have at it. That's pretty much, anything you can think of with it. Your point of view, your takes on any part of it.
Well, I don't think there's, has there been an actual final ruling here?
Not 100%. They gave a little bit of brief. I know that they're going to start back up again here in, I think, January. I might be wrong, January or February, again, on this. The thing that I had covered was where basically these, the ISP companies can go through and they can basically gauge, like, whatever they like say, okay, you have YouTube, Netflix, and, MySpace, Facebook, and all this stuff that's using a lot of traffic. And then you have just basic general information. And what they're going to do is, they said that they have the right to gauge, how much of that is actually, I guess bandwidth is equated to that. So,
okay, so like you're saying, Comcast was going to say, hey, alright, you can only have 15 gigabytes of data over the course of a month, 30-day period. And the FCC said, no, you can't do that.
Right. So, no, they said they could, it was okay for them to go through and throttle things. That it was on their side that they're allowed to do anything like that. That they're, it's their side. So the leeway that they gave was to all the wireless companies. So like AT&T, Sprint, and all those, they gave more leeway with what they could do, with their content. They're more loose with their content because probably what it is probably the government doesn't understand that technology yet, and they're just finally catching up with the internet being, what it is. So, pretty much, I'll show you a diagram, which is pretty cool. It's like kind of like a little picture of a way this is going to work, which is funny the way it actually looks. So you have the big ISP company here at the top, and then you have where the tube's going down through, because the internet's made up of tubes. We've heard that. So basically what they're saying is Netflix, Hulu, gaming, and basic content, email, Facebook, and Skype, and YouTube, and it's giving price package things here, which is funny, just poking fun at this whole ordeal. That's saying, okay, well, these service providers have to pay, they have companies like, say Comcast or Time Warner or any other, ISP out there. They can go through and they can say, all right, well, you want your content to get to the person faster, you're going to have to pay us, not the consumer, but the person who is, having this content. Say, like, okay, Netflix is really big now. And, a lot of people are saying that, like, what was it? I forget the percentage of users during primetime TV are watching Netflix instead of watching primetime TV. And that's the big bitch that all these cable companies are saying, hey, you're using up our bandwidth to be able to watch, Netflix and things like this, and you're sucking up all our bandwidth just doing that.
And you're stealing our customers.
Right. So what they're doing now is they're saying, hey, that's hurting our business model, and the government's basically saying, oh, well, okay, well, here's the deal. You can tell them that you can charge them extra for bigger tubes for this information to get to them. That's my big bitch, because I pay for my monthly, fees of the internet. It isn't like it used to be of the old days of AOL and stuff like that, where you could go through and you paid for hours of the internet and stuff like that. And thank God we're not like Australia, where we had to pay for how many gigs of information we use per month and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I'd be in big trouble.
Yeah, it kind of pisses me off to the fact of, these companies are basically saying, hey, you don't have the right to be able to go through and watch the content you want to watch for the speed that you're paying for. And that pisses me off completely, because it's like, look, dude, I'm paying for, business internet, and I love whatever is crashing opera. It's driving me insane. But it's like, I don't really get the fact of them going through and saying, hey, we're going to charge, this company more money to be able to, broadcast and be able to send out the information to you. And that's what it's going to come down to, is Netflix is going to be like, well, shit, they're charging us extra for us to be able to send content to you. We're going to have to jack the prices
up. Consumers more.
Exactly. And I think that's complete bullshit. I think these cable companies, really, the government needs to step in, and they need to do something like say, hey, internet is basically becoming, a right. It's a right for us to be able to have this information at our fingertips. Pretty much the libraries are gone now. I mean, yeah, you still have libraries, but still, which would you rather do? Have the information in front of you now, or would you rather wait and go and read a book on it, and then have to go to the library, then return the thing, and you can just have unlimited amounts of information in front of you. So that's basically, I think the government needs to step in and be like, look, hey, I understand when you have a business model, we understand that, we'll give you a big tax break, if you allow, because we're like number 26, I want to say, 26 or 27 in the world for, internet speeds. I mean, we suck bad, man. China and like Japan and Korea and all those just have ridiculously fast internet. Ours
killing us with the speeds.
Yeah.
Well, and my hope is that the bandwidth is going to open up so much more in the future that we'll start seeing 20 gigs of data being normal, and that way it opens up, a whole lot more room for anybody. And the other thing that I guess bugs me about the whole thing is if you look at who's using it, so we'll say maybe 12% of the actual users are heavy-duty internet users, and everybody else is just using it sporadically.
Or using it for Farmville.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's going to pay, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I really think that's going to be coming down to, you might have to, like the cartoon was showing, pay for, extra services to be able to get to your house. Do you want to use Facebook? Well, to get Facebook, you're going to have to pay an extra $1 more to get Facebook faster and stuff like that. Or you can wait for the content. It's aggravating. It really is. I get so aggravated with even the thought of that shit because, I used to have AOL. That was our only internet provider that we had when I was younger, and it was the starter of everything. And it was like hours. I was like dedicated that you can only be on the computer for this many minutes because blah blah. We only have so many hours. And my dad would want to get on the internet, and my stepmom would want to get on the internet and stuff like that. And they're like, we just don't have the hours to give up for that, so you got to watch yourself. And I'm like,
oh. Chat room.
Yeah. So, yeah, chat room wars. Oh, dude, I used to start all kinds of that shit. Then I found out what IRC was, and then went from that shit to IRC wars and shit. Yeah, it was the internet back in the day. So, but from your side, what have you heard about? Like anything else that you heard instead of like the bandwidth issue and stuff like that?
I know that some places were blocking specific like ISPs, so like saying you can't go to this place and you can't go to that place. So I don't know if that was one of the rulings.
I think that they covered that, and I don't think that they can block people, but I think they can limit the use of the bandwidth crap.
Gotcha.
Which pisses me off. Which completely pisses me off. But like, so are you a fan of Apple products? Anything like Macs or anything like that? Do you own a Mac? I don't own a Mac on my end because I'm not a big fan of Macs. But
oh yeah, I mean I'm a fan of the technology. Can I afford it? No.
Because Macs are ridiculous, and I really think that people are like, well, Macs will just work better. Well, Macs have a standard. You know what I mean? It's like you can have a $300 computer run Windows. Is it going to crash a lot? Yeah, probably. Is it going to be shitty and slow? Yeah, probably. But it still runs, And Macs are like, they have, this processor, they have this, video card, and they have this sound card, and that's it. That's what they have, and that's what they're built around. Of course it's going to work better, It's, like trying to take you have a Ferrari and trying to put a Pinto engine in it. Yeah, it's going to run, but is it going to run that well? No. Something that's designed for a Ferrari is a Ferrari engine, and it's going to run a lot better. So,
yeah. I mean, I think you can go back to that. Apple's Windows, Linux, and you have that fight over and over and over again. And they all got their benefits. They've all got really good perks to each one of them. And I think it dials down to preference a lot of the time.
I agree completely. Well, the reason why I asked the question is, are you a Mac fan or anything like that? I can't stand Steve Jobs. I think he's a cocky asshole, which makes me really mad because he thinks that everything that he makes is just gold. And, to a certain extent, yeah, it is pretty much gold because you have the Apple fanboys that are like, it has an Apple logo on it, I'll buy it. I mean, you could put a dog turd and put an Apple logo on it, and they'd be like, oh, it's the next big thing. Yeah, look at this. It's portable do. I mean, you could do whatever you want to do with it. So, but one guy I do actually respect that was actually from Apple is Steve Wozniak, which is one of the co-founders of Apple. And he gave an interview about what he thinks about the whole, the internet net neutrality thing, and which is freaking awesome. I mean, he is just absolutely amazing.
Oh, I'm not familiar with him. I'll have to dig a little deeper.
He is awesome. Absolutely
Steve Wozniak is a co-founder of Apple, and we heard from Commissioner Copps that the order didn't go nearly far enough. We heard from Commissioner McDowell that it went much too far. What are your thoughts?
I think it's nice to see people standing up for the people, the consumers, and giving them protections against a lot of big business. I don't think you're going to find hardly any American, aside from a lawyer or somebody who's got a political side, who would ever say that they could trust the actions of the major carriers, the phone companies, the cable companies that we have today. I think pretty much whenever those companies are given some leeway, we wind up feeling kind of taken advantage of, screwed, given misinformation, deceived about what we're getting versus what we could have gotten. I think that all the comments of the minority side could have been made just as effectively back when AT&T was this awful monopoly that kept us from any innovation in the telephone world, kept anybody